On today's episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, Rich kicks off 2026 with me to discuss our feelings on Tomb Raider 2, which leads into our main topic for the show, which retro games we have unfinished business with. Hello everyone, and Happy New Year from the Retro Gamers Podcast. We're here at episode 427, the first episode of 2026. Anthony here.
And Rich.
And Rich joining me again to start the year. Last year, you were on the first episode of the year as well.
I was going to say.
Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember what we did on that episode?
Not at all.
We did a review of Secret Level.
From Amazon.
remember?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Which then also makes me ask, did you ever pick up a copy of Shadow Labyrinth, which was based off of that Pac-Man short?
Nope.
No? Okay. I actually did buy it on Black Friday. It was on sale.
Have you played it yet?
I haven't played it yet.
Of course not.
I have it on Switch. No, I just buy things.
Yeah.
I don't play them. But everybody, welcome back. We hope you had a wonderful holiday season. We have a good discussion for this episode that Rich and I kind of stumbled upon because of something that I did, thanks to his pushing me to do it. Yes. Basically, he's only been doing that for 40 years. But before we get to that, I wanted to do a little bit of a holiday wrap-up since we're now all the holidays are over. We're in 2026. But during the holidays, did you get any games for gifts? Did you pick up any games?
So my wife got me two gifts for she got me more than two gifts for Christmas, but two video game related gifts.
Okay.
So the first one is very much in my wheelhouse, and I've talked about this many times on here, and I'm finally jumping into this, is Metroid Prime 4.
Nice.
Yeah. Very quickly.
Long time coming, too.
Yeah. I've played it only for an hour.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I can see a lot of the problems that people have been complaining about.
Of course you can.
I will say this. You know what you're getting into, and just enjoy the nostalgia ride.
All right.
And I would say this, so far in terms of us, the Retro Gamers Podcast here, it's, you're playing if you're playing Metroid Prime 4, you've played the other three.
You've played the other three. Okay. That's why I don't have Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
I've yet to play any of them.
Oh, you need to. That first one.
I know, but the whole first-person shooter headache thing, it always played a factor in my gaming choices.
Fair enough.
I should give it a try though, because sometimes your brain change. They say your brain changes when you get older. It's kind of the equivalent of like how you can go on roller coasters when you're younger. And
this is you and I.
When you're older, so.
Our brains don't change.
No, that is true. They've been mushed the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
The other one is video game related, but not a video game. So you know me with comics, and I love my CGC graded comims.
Yes, you do.
And I've been getting into some of the stuff that's not necessarily comic book, in the sense of your Spider-Man, your Superman, your X-Men, and whatnot.
Of course.
So I started collecting some of the old, for example, going with one of our topics coming up later on, Lara Croft's first appearance in comics. I had bought a while back. And so for Christmas, I got the Resident Evil comic that was given away with the very first Resident Evil game.
Oh, wow.
So I got that in a 9.4, I was very happy about getting that.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize they gave a comic book away when you bought the first one.
I'm pretty sure it must have been you had to get very much when the game first came out, which again, how many of us knew, this Resident Evil? And that cover didn't exactly sit there and scream, "Hey, pick me up."
True. Well, and not only that, I'm assuming that if the comic book came out with the first launch of the Resident Evil one, you were also getting the long box version of Resident Evil.
Yep.
Which is even cooler.
Yep.
I am a long box fiend, by the way, for PlayStation 1. I want all the long box versions of games that came out.
I don't even want to know how much a Resident Evil 1 long box would go for.
No idea. You know what's funny? I saw one in a store a while ago, probably 2 years ago. There was one sitting in the store. It was only $20, but the box was destroyed.
Mangled.
Oh. Yeah, it was really mangled. And I still was maybe I should grab it anyway just to say I have it, and I did not. And I should have.
$20.
Especially for $20. I totally missed out on that.
So that's my very short list. How about you?
Well, I didn't get that much really.
Oh,
you know.
no.
I did a lot of my shopping Black Friday, and I've done my recap on Black Friday. However, I always, as now it's becoming an annual tradition that I go to Canada for Boxing Day.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know, obviously Boxing Day is a holiday in Canada. It takes place on December 26th. And the whole thing behind it is basically you are boxing up some of your gifts, bringing them back. It's like, oh, they made a whole holiday out of this thing. We're actually bringing gifts back, but they've turned it into a Black Friday event. So the whole weekend, they do Boxing Day weekend.
Oh, cool.
Where it's basically like Black Friday sales.
Huh.
So since I'm up there, I'm like, I should try and take advantage of them.
Might as well.
And pick up what I can. And I promised myself to be a little restrained this year. And so because I promised that to myself, I did the complete opposite.
Of course.
And I went nuts. I totally went nuts. First off, I did my annual trip to Hallmark to pick up some of the video game ornaments to add to my tree.
Mm-hmm.
I always go after Christmas because they're always half off.
Right.
I'm like, I can wait a year to put them on my tree. It's not the end of the world. So I picked up Supersonic.
Nice.
From this year's collection. And you want to just I'll pass that over to you. I picked up, every year they're doing a Mario Kart character. So this year was Princess Peach.
Nice.
So I grabbed her, add her to my collection. I think I have Bowser and Mario. I may have missed Toad along the way. I'm not sure. And then I picked up Elephant Mario from Super Mario Wonder. It's a big, hefty box.
Yeah, really.
Yep. And
That's got some weight to it.
It does. And then, surprisingly enough, the one that doesn't have much weight to it, but I'm happy to add to my collection because I have been buying all the console ones. I grabbed the Xbox 360, which plays the same tune that the Xbox does, which is Halo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but does it Red Ring of Death on you?
It really should, but it doesn't.
Well, I mean, for the amount of torture that all of us had to go through with that damn Red Ring of Death, really, Microsoft Hallmark really get this thing to Red Ring of Death on us.
It would be great if, in the middle of the Halo theme, it just stops and the red ring starts flashing.
Oh god, but it only does it randomly.
Yeah, Hallmark, pay attention. That's next year's ornament.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for the Christmas ornaments. Now for the games. So, all in all, I wound up picking up 14 games.
Oh dear God.
I wound up picking. Well, let me rephrase. One of the games was a gift.
Okay.
One of them was a gift. So I did get as a gift the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection for PlayStation 5, which I really, really wanted. So I was very happy to get that. Definitely. Yeah.
Don't ignore the fact that it's disappearing.
Yep. Where did it go? All right. And now the other 13 games I did wind up buying.
No. Santa got you.
What did Santa give me?
All 14. The other 13.
I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. Santa got them for me while I was shopping.
Yes.
On Boxing Day weekend.
Yes, he was whispering into your ear.
Yes. So, first one I got now, I just recently got a PSP.
Mm.
I only have one other game for PSP that I bought a few weeks ago.
Yeah, who made you buy that?
What, a PSP?
No, the game.
Santa.
Yes.
On Boxing Day. Yes. I hate you. So for PSP, I picked up Pac-Man World 3 because I found it in a store and it was cheap. And I was like, okay, I'll add a Pac-Man game. No problem. Okay. Moving on to the Xbox 360. I've covered a lot of consoles over this shopping trip.
I see.
So for Xbox 360, I picked up the Simpsons game because I've never owned this particular one.
I remember when that came out.
Yeah. So this one came out. When did this come out? 2009? No, later than that, right? No, maybe around that time. But I've never played it. It's a one-player game, I believe. No, one or two players. I'm sorry. You can do co-op in this, but you're basically going through Springfield.
Yep.
And there's a whole story mode involved.
So if I remember right, I think it was either this or Hit and Run. I don't remember which one. Mm-hmm. But I was a huge Madden guy back in the day, and they actually had advertisements for the Simpson game in
Madden?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, EA. So that's my only 360 game. For PlayStation 3, now I started buying these with the intention of playing the entire series because I've heard how awesome they are. Then I found out literally today from a friend of mine that they've remastered some of these on the PS5. So I could have just gotten the remastered ones and played those.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have a physical copy here.
I wouldn't have a physical copy. And on top of that, to this day, I have never played a PlayStation 3 game because I never owned a PlayStation 3 until I finally bought one from Game On 4 years ago. And then after I bought it, obviously it was the usual. I can't wait to hook this up. I can't wait to play it.
And it's still sitting.
And now it's 4 years later. Now it is hooked up. And it is the first run of the PlayStation 3, so it's backwards compatible to the PlayStation 1.
But have you played it yet? Have you played a game on it yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not. But I have been building my library. So there's hope. There is hope.
So, okay, when again, I'm going to be on the first guest next year.
Yeah.
I'll forget, clearly. But
he'll ask.
Hopefully I'll ask.
No, you know why you'll ask? Because next year I'll have another stack of games. And I'll be like, look, I have another PlayStation 3 game. And then you'll be like, have you played it? No. I will play PlayStation 3 this year. Okay? I don't know what game it'll be, but I'll play something. Even if it's like Monopoly, I will play something on my PlayStation.
Listen, at some point when I'm up here again, I'll make sure that
you'll make sure I play it. Okay. So I'm filling in this collection very, very quickly because these games aren't that expensive. So I picked up Assassin's Creed. Have you ever played Assassin's Creed?
I did. I played and beat the first one.
Okay.
I never went back after it.
Okay. Then I picked up Assassin's Creed 2, but lo and behold, when I found it in the store, it is a sealed copy of Assassin's Creed 2.
What?
So this will not be opened. I need to buy another copy. I will not open it.
Yep. I can understand why.
Any game I find now that's sealed, I will not open. By the way, the same store that I bought this from had a sealed copy of Spider-Man and the X-Men on Super Nintendo that almost wound up in my collection. I did not buy it.
How much?
It was only $60.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He also had a sealed copy of Ocarina of Time, of Super Mario 64. I was sitting there drooling. Okay, so Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Assassin's Creed 3, of course.
Is 4 over there?
No, I already have 4.
Okay.
But Assassin's Creed Rogue is here. So I'm almost done, I think, filling the Assassin's Creed collection. I have Black Flag also, I think, for PS3.
4.
Or 4, maybe 4. I think there's one called Ezio's Story that I don't have for 3.
Okay.
So
I only played the first one, so.
Okay. I gotta go back and get that one. For PlayStation 2, now, I picked up Tomb Raider Legend. No, you can't have it.
I actually already own it.
Oh, okay. But I picked up Tomb Raider Legend since we've been talking a lot of Tomb Raider lately, and we're going to talk Tomb Raider in a few minutes.
I've got the 360 version.
He's got the 360 version. Well, I got the PS2 version. And then I was having a conversation actually on YouTube because a certain retro birthday came up last week, I believe. And I was talking to somebody on there who is a huge fan of the Phantasy Star series. And it made me curious enough. Now, I never played Phantasy Star at all. It was on Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, and then beyond. I've never played any of them, although I've heard Phantasy Star 4 on the Genesis is amazing. But just the series in general. So I saw this at the store, and I just thought I'd pick it up to add to my collection, which is Phantasy Star Universe on the PlayStation 2. Again, I don't know anything about the Phantasy Star series, but I'd like to start working on it at some point in time. So I just grabbed this for my collection.
So I had friends of mine who were big into Phantasy Star. I never got into it.
Yeah, for anybody out there who watches or listens, are big fans of Phantasy Star, send an email, reply to the video, throw some thoughts, how you feel about Phantasy Star, what you think. I'm all ears. Okay, I talked a little bit earlier about long box PlayStation games.
Ooh.
I found a long box copy. This is not one to write home about, but it's the ESPN2 Extreme Games.
Wasn't that a launch game?
On PlayStation 1, and I believe, yes, this was a launch game.
Oh, wow.
So I'm adding a launch game to my collection. It doesn't have the little foam thingy.
Yep.
But still, it's got, obviously the instruction booklet. It's got the case.
Nice condition.
Yeah, it's in really nice condition. I'm just very happy that I got to add that.
This brings back memories of the Sega Saturn.
Yes. The Saturn games had the same type of cases. And then moving on to Nintendo. Just adding to my Wii U collection, Super Mario Maker, which I've never owned.
Really?
No, never played Super Mario Maker.
It's fun.
Yeah, I heard it's really fun. I remember everybody talking about like how great it was. Like you made your own boards and put them up online and stuff like that. So I've missed out on that completely. But I heard the base game in it
It's fun.
is really fun. So
Yeah.
I want to give that a go. So I grabbed this again. Nothing monumental, not worth a ton. Not worth like a ton of money.
Told you, I think I'm going to ask my wife for my birthday this year. I want a Wii U.
Want a Wii U?
Well, mainly because I got I got all my Wii games and GameCube games, and you can't play them now because nothing has. I always forget, is it component or composite cables?
Composite.
So they don't have the composite cable. So it's like, how am I going to play this now?
Yeah. Well, wait. Wii U can't play GameCube. It goes back to Wii.
But the Wii
can play GameCube.
But the Wii can still, because it's still emulating the Wii. So therefore, if you put the GameCube, now I gotta have to check it. But
check it. I wasn't sure about that. I thought you can only play Wii on the Wii U.
Don't check. I hear there's this thing called the internet.
I heard the interwebs can tell you these things. It's like it's like an oracle or something.
This goggle thing.
And speaking of oracles, on the Nintendo GameCube, I grabbed a copy of Enter the Matrix, which I also never played.
Okay, can I say?
Yes.
I actually played and beat it.
And thoughts?
I don't understand why people hated this game so much.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun with this game.
Yeah.
Granted, you had to, and in true Matrix form, there was cheat codes.
Okay.
You remember back in the day when you didn't have to pay for the cheat codes?
Yes.
Yeah, so there was these things called cheat codes. You would enter it in. And I will say, like, if I remember right, I think you had a limited time of bullet time.
Okay.
And I want to say one of the cheat codes was to give you an infinite bullet time.
Oh, that's cool.
And I will tell you that doing that made the game worth playing. Without it, I couldn't get very far into the game.
Well, I didn't even realize it's a 2-disc game.
Oh wow! I think I had mine for the PS2.
Yeah. So for GameCube, obviously, because the GameCube discs could only hold, I think, 1 gigabyte of data or 1.2 gigabytes. So they needed 2 for it. So that's kind of cool. And again, excellent condition. And the game itself was written and directed by the Wachowskis.
Yes.
So it fits right into the rest of the Matrix story.
Well, it goes into, if I remember right, I think it connects to the Animatrix.
Oh, cool.
And the Flight of the Osiris, I think it was.
Oh, yeah. I remember the Animatrix. I remember watching that. So that was cool. All right. So Into the Matrix. And then I'm almost done. Got 3 more.
So I'm so glad you got me these games.
Ah, fabulous. Also for the GameCube, building out that collection a little bit, I grabbed a copy of the Sonic Mega Collection. Yes, I have these games on other consoles, but I just thought it would be a nice one to add. Again, wasn't that expensive. So this one includes Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. So,
Puyo.
Yeah, Puyo, basically. So 7 games, which is great. It also has unlockable games. So I don't know what those are. And then bonus materials, including comic book covers, rare artwork, and more.
Huh.
So kind of fun. Ooh, it's still got the little mail-in thing in it too, which is
that's so
fun.
cool.
Yeah. So Sonic Mega Collection, and then the last 2 games I grabbed are actually really interesting because, you know what? I'm just noticing something about this one. I'll find out, I guess. I was in a bookstore. I was in a used bookstore. And in said used bookstore, there was this little glass case in the front, and it had video games in it. I'm like, what are these doing in a used bookstore? So I went there, and I looked at them, and there were a few of them. Some of the games I showed you already were actually some of the ones I bought there. I bought like 6 or 7 games alone in this bookstore. But I saw 2 games sitting there, and I'm like, oh, interesting. And I made her an offer, and she took it. And I was like, great. So I grabbed a copy of Star Fox Adventures for GameCube.
I think I noticed what you just noticed.
And I just noticed on it, which I didn't realize before, it says on the front here, demodisclabel.com. Now, I don't know if that means this is a demo version of the game or if the cover was just made by this, because it says demodisclabel.com. It doesn't say demo.
Right.
It doesn't just say demo. So this, and the disc itself doesn't say demo disc. So I think it's the full game, and it's not the original. It's not the original cover. So I'm like, you know what? Not the end of the world. This runs for like $40 or $50 now. So I'm like, okay, happy to add it to my collection. But yeah, you can usually tell by that.
Yeah, I would say that feels like a copy.
Okay, which is fine. I'll live with that.
Yeah.
And then the last one I got, which I was really happy for, because I know these are rare, these are harder to find, and these are pricier. And she had a good price on this one, but I did kind of whittle down a little bit. I don't really like to talk about prices on the podcast, but I grabbed a copy of Mario Party 6 for GameCube. It did not come with the microphone, which I did not know it needed for some of the games, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe this is not the microphone one. I do not know. But I didn't want to pass it up because I saw it sitting there. The price was actually decent for it, so I grabbed it while I could.
Might as well.
Can always add the microphone later by going on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a microphone one. Excuse me. But those are just a few games that I picked up.
Santa was good to you.
Santa was very good to me on Boxing Day.
Yes, he was.
It was really, really good. So, yeah. So I got another 14 games added to my collection. More when you think about when you add the Sonic collection, the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection. There's actually a ton of games there. So I definitely have my hands full with that, on top of all the other games I haven't had a chance to play. But that is my holiday recap.
I think you had a better one than I did in terms of volume.
Yes, in terms of volume. In terms of quality.
Wait, what? Oh, my goodness. I left out the game Santa brought me.
What else did Santa bring you?
Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes. I wonder who got me that.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
But you're welcome. So hope you guys out there had a good holiday, a decent holiday, and picked up your games. And again, let us know about it. What did Santa bring you?
Oh, by the way, one other thing that you and I were talking about earlier was how I said I feel like for me it's 2004 all over again for Christmas. Because in 2004 for Christmas, I remember I got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Oh, yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 3 for Christmas. And what did I get for Christmas this year?
Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4 and Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. So it's 20 years later, 21 years later, here I am playing the same games again.
It's 2004 all over again.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, for everybody out there, would love to hear what you guys got for Christmas, what retro stuff you added to your collections, what you're really excited to play next.
Did you outdo this guy?
Did you get more than 14 games? I would love to hear if somebody else out there has topped me, and just so that I don't feel so ashamed that I bought that many games. But please reach out anywhere you find us, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, at Retro Gamers Podcast, on YouTube. Same thing. Anywhere you look, at Retro Gamers Podcast. Would love to hear from you. The Retro Gamers Podcast is brought to you by Old School Gamer Magazine. Sign up for as little as $20 per year for 6 issues that include feature articles, interviews with retro programmers, new and old product reviews, and more. If you look carefully, you'll even see an article or two penned by yours truly. You can head over to oldschoolgamermagazine.com/retrogamerspodcast and sign up so they know where you heard about it. Old School Gamer is dedicated to you, the old school retro gamers from the arcades to your home. On that note, let's move on to the next topic of discussion.
Yes.
Now, and I know you've been itching to talk about this one.
Yes.
So, for those of you who haven't been following on our social media, I have been desperately trying to defeat Tomb Raider 2. And when I say desperately, I had just gotten into it again when I picked up the Tomb Raider collection, the remastered collection, 1, 2, and 3. And Tomb Raider 2 has always dogged me because when I first got it, when it came out in 1997, I think it was 97.
97.
When I got it in 1997, I got stuck on a certain board. It was an underwater...
At the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I wasn't that far into the game either. It was like an underwater facility or oil rig or whatever the heck that place was. I got stuck in the game, could not find out what to do, so I shut the game off and I said, forget it. I'll get back to it at some point. The following year, I got Tomb Raider 3 for my birthday. But I still hadn't beaten Tomb Raider 2. And for those of you who don't know me that well, I don't like to move on to another game in a franchise if I haven't beaten the one before. Even if they're not connected in any way story-wise, I still want to get it. It's like a movie franchise to me. It's like I'm not going to skip over the second film and just start to watch the third film. Even if it's like Halloween 3, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Doesn't matter.
I still will watch Halloween 3 before I go to 4, right? I do the same thing with video games. If it's a franchise, I'm going to want to get through them in order. So my Tomb Raider 3 stayed shrink wrapped for 28 years because I never beat Tomb Raider 2. Now, here we are. We're in 2025. I buy the remastered copy. I make the commitment to get through this game, and I did put it down several times because it frustrated the heck out of me. I managed to get past the part that I got stuck on all those years ago.
Yep.
But then I kept getting stuck in other places, and I had to put it down.
Yep.
Eventually, I fought my way through it, and about 2 weeks ago, I want to say, I beat Tomb Raider 2. It took me forever. My younger self is very happy I went back and committed to that. I posted the ending on YouTube. You can go to Retro Gamers Podcast on YouTube and see my final 13 minutes in the game, where I still died once.
Only once?
Well, in the last 13 minutes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see me fight the big battle, and then you see me in Lara Croft's mansion getting killed like a dummy.
So wait. You beat the dragon without dying.
I beat the dragon without dying, but then
you died in the mansion.
And then I died in the mansion when it got invaded. Because I couldn't see who was shooting at me, and then it was, and by that point.
Can I tell you a funny story about the dragon?
Yes.
Okay, so long story. Trying to make a very long story short. One of my buddies was he and I both loved the Tomb Raider series, and we used to play it and race through to see who can get beat it first. And he was having a band meeting where basically he was getting kicked out of the band / quitting the band. And me and one of the other guys was in the basement, and we were sitting there playing and getting to the final boss of Tomb Raider 2. And I'll never forget, because if you remember, I forget the name of the big baddie guy, but he's laying on that altar, with the sword in the knife dagger in his chest.
Yes.
And I go running up to him, and I stand on top of him, and then there's that big energy
explosion.
blast.
Yes.
It launched me up to the ceiling. And then I fell down and died.
That's awesome.
And all I heard was this thing stomping around. And this is, of course, pre-internet days.
Right. So you don't know what it is.
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then, of course, my buddy, was like, come on, we're leaving. I'm done with this. I'm like, but I want to finish the game. And I had to wind up leaving. And I wound up going home and beating it the next day. But,
nice.
Yeah.
That did not happen to me with the dragon. I did die a couple of times with the dragon. I think it was my third time before I beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why we're bringing this up is because it took so long. I thought that we needed to do a little bit of a post-mortem on Tomb Raider 2 to share our thoughts on it, especially mine because it took me so long to beat it. And I'm just going to say flat out, as much as I loved Tomb Raider 1, that's how much I hated Tomb Raider 2.
Tell me how you really feel.
No, I mean, Tomb Raider 1 for me, granted, it was the first one in the franchise, so it was obviously the first games are always trying to find their footing. But even the first one was challenging.
And there was a magic with that first one.
Yeah. And
there was a magic.
There was a magic with that one because it was challenging, but it was beatable. You were able to figure things out. It wasn't flat out impossible. Tomb Raider 2, I feel like, they wanted to obviously up the difficulty level with it, and they want obviously make the story more interesting. It's the way you do it with a film franchise, right? You always go bigger, right? So they wanted to go bigger. They wanted to go more challenging. But there are so many moments in that game where I don't understand how you're supposed to figure out certain things without help. And that's the thing that drove me nuts. I literally was playing through this, even in the remastered one, where they obviously in the remaster, they recolored everything. Mm-hmm. It's brighter. There are certain things in that game where if you flip between, because you can choose whether to play the original version or the remastered.
Yep.
Where you can change it back to the original and you can see how dark the original one was. That there were places where you needed to find a passage underwater or find a little hidden cove behind a wall type of thing where it's literally impossible in the original version because it was so dark. Mm-hmm. It was even super hard in the remaster because they wanted to keep that. So just looking at those moments where I was just I don't know how anybody could have figured this out without buying the strategy guide.
I'm going to let you in a little secret.
Yeah.
Don't play Tomb Raider 3.
Well, is it worse?
It's worse.
Oh my God.
I would say Tomb Raider 3 was the hardest in the series,
Awesome.
in my opinion. So yeah, avoid Tomb Raider 3.
Well, no, well, see, but at this point, though, it's not I'm not worried about that because I can always go online and look at it. And look, and I'm going to admit flat out, I only got through Tomb Raider 2 because there were points I got to where I was just like, I'm 100% stuck. I'm never going to get through this. And rather than put it down, I will watch a quick video to see how I get through this little piece. And to my credit, I'll give myself a little credit here. I was always on the right path to what I needed to do next before I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like completely off in somewhere else where it's like, oh, I had to backtrack all over the place. Like I was literally moving forward, but I just got stuck on like a little thing.
You couldn't find the one spot where you needed to stand so you can see the pathway where to go.
Exactly. Like those types of things where like that happened. But again, like I said, like I think there were moments in it that were just needlessly difficult. Another example, and not all of them were always puzzle related. Like there was one specific level where I remember you were walking down a hallway and you run up these stairs and there's a glass window at the end of the stairs. But as you get halfway up the hallway, 4 guys show up behind you that are shooting at you, and it's a very closed corridor. You can't really get around them. And if you do get around them, you run into another room where it's another small room, but they all follow you anyway. So you got 4 guys basically shooting at you all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to try and obviously outshoot them. Now, I'm at this part in the game. I have no med kits left.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I think, maybe a third of my health. And I've got to beat these 4 guys to keep moving on. And because of the way I did my save states, I couldn't go back to a previous save state without going like 3 levels back. So I must have replayed that 40 times because I had to do it exactly where it was like I needed to activate them to show up, run around the corner quick enough so they're not hitting me while shooting them, and then running around in a circle, coming back around, shooting them, doing that drop and turn. That tuck and roll thing that she does really quickly to make sure I'm still shooting at them, and then running down a staircase and going around a corner and waiting for them to show up to shoot them again.
And just keep doing that.
Over and over and over again. I lost my mind.
What was the other part you lost your mind on?
Okay, so the other part that really killed me with this game was when you're towards the end of the game gets very Gauntlet heavy.
Yes.
So you get to the temple, you're not facing goons anymore. People aren't coming out to shoot you, but there's just this long gauntlet through the temple. It's basically like an Indiana Jones thing, right? Where you're going into the temple and now there are all of these booby traps and challenges and things that you got to do. And to their credit, they did a good job. They made it very vast and it did take a while to get through. However, one of the things you needed to do was, you needed to climb up like a ladder on the wall. But the next ladder that you needed to connect to was behind you. So in order to get to that ladder, you had to stop Lara on the ladder, press the down button, press the square button so she backflips, but then be quick enough to press the circle button after the square button so that she turns in the air
and grabs back onto the ladder.
And then you got to press the X button to make sure she grabs that ladder.
So I'm going to steal your Switch controller here.
Hold on.
Yep.
Impossible. I could not get... And then obviously, if you miss all of that, you fall to your death. So I fell to my death quite a bit, to the point where I literally shut the game off. I said...
You texted me.
I texted him.
You were texting me.
I texted him, and I cannot read what the text says because this is a PG show.
Yes.
But I literally said, I'm done with this.
So the way I did it was, and using this, I actually was holding the controller like this. So the X button to hold on to the thing was, I think square was
there,
and circle was to flip. So what I would do is I would literally use my index finger to jump, and then as soon as I jumped, hit the circle, and then repress X as I'm in midair. Yeah,
but while doing that, also you got to remember to hold down to do the backflip, and I want to say, even when I had the sequence right to do the backflip, it didn't always take, and I would just fall straight.
Yep.
And if you started to fall straight, you had to press X quick enough to re-grab the ladder, and if you didn't, you just fell to your death. Because every single time they did this setup in the game, I think they did it like 3 times in this gauntlet.
Yep.
There were spikes at the bottom.
Yep.
So if you messed up, you were just dead.
And wasn't there one point where I think like there was like the thing, what's it called? There was like blades chopping at you too.
Yes.
That you had to like jump.
Yes, you had to like do you had to backflip. You had to make sure you were low enough so the blade wouldn't hit you when you did the backflip.
Yep.
And then obviously do the turn and the grab at the same time. Yep. Like those are the types of things where I'm just like, you really must hate your gamers to not want them to get past these parts of the game. So that's where I draw kind of a line of like sometimes it's just needlessly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened with me with Tomb Raider 2. There were too many moments where I felt like you didn't need to make it this difficult. And hey, maybe it's also because like I've gotten older, maybe my attention span's a little bit less with these games and I kind of just want to get through them. But I also remember putting it down 28 years ago. So
seriously, do not play Tomb Raider 3.
Okay.
Seriously. On the contrary to you, I loved it. And
you told me Tomb Raider 2 was the worst one, you liar.
No, I'm talking about just Tomb Raider in general.
Oh yes, Tomb Raider in general. I mean, I love the first Tomb Raider. It's one of my favorite games.
I mean, going back to those original ones, I would say 1 was easily my favorite. 4, I actually going with where we're going to go later on. I never finished the 4th one back in the day.
Okay.
And I was so looking forward to when 4, 5, and 6 came out because I was like, I am going to finally finish 4 because I never could get, I got stuck in like almost, I think it was like 2/3 of the way through the game and I just could not progress. And I finally did it with this. I finally finished that some 20 something odd years later. And 4 was my next favorite. Then I would say 2, then 3. And then Chronicles, well, yeah, those of us in the Tomb Raider, well, we know about Chronicles. Mm-hmm. But no, I would say 2. I agree with you. The difficulty level in 2 was steep.
Yeah.
But there was just I love the exploration in those games. I love just running around.
I agree with that 100%.
True full disclosure, when I did the remastered, you and I were talking this entire time. I actually did 1 through 6. I actually played through all of them because I had never done Chronicles before.
Right.
And I did Angel of Darkness. I was one of the people that bought that and was so excited for it. And then 10 minutes into the game went, nope. And I put the controller down and I never touched it again.
I heard everybody was really disappointed with Angel of Darkness, or a lot of people were.
The remastered didn't get much better.
That's unfortunate.
Well, the bugs were fixed, but the gameplay was still terrible.
Okay.
But no, I mean, I would say, back in the day, I used to love, getting stuck, trying to figure it out, talking with my buddies, trying to figure out, oh, how did you get past this part? And then they would tell me, and I would be like, oh, okay, now I know where to go. Now the problem being is, of course, I'm a dad of a 3-year-old, so I don't have the time to do this.
No, you don't.
So, I mean, full disclosure, I had my iPhone sitting there, and I would literally watch like 2 minutes on it and go, okay, cool, now I know where to go. Look at my phone, okay, 2 minutes. All right, now here I'm going. And, again, as a 40-something-year-old man, I wish I had the time to do that. I don't.
Yep.
But I still had a lot of fun. Although if you ask my wife, she'll tell you, like, you seemed always so angry at the games. And I'm like, that's just me playing them and enjoying them. You sit there, you curse at them, and you get super pissed off at them. That was half the fun.
Well, it was half the fun when you were able to get past it finally. If you never got past it and you hung on to that anger, that part wasn't safe. I hung on to 28 years of anger.
Yeah.
But I can safely say now that I've let it go.
But no, I thought the ending of going back to the mansion, I remember
I like that. I thought that was cool.
I love at the end, she picks up the shotgun and she's like, don't you think you've seen enough? And then, she fires the shotgun.
Yeah, right before she goes into the shower.
Yeah, that was great. No, there was like a lot of things like that I thought was really cool. The dragon, I remember like especially being younger. I mean, obviously now I knew what was coming, but being younger, like running into this room going like, what the hell am I going to be going up against here?
Well, even playing it now, like when I got to that point, I was like, okay, that's a really cool moment in a game.
Yep.
Especially a game that's almost 30 years old. But even playing it now, I was like, that's a cool final boss for a game like that. So
you felt the build up.
Yes, you did.
And you know, especially for storyline wise, I felt like this one had a better storyline than the first one.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. Like I thought the through line was really, really good. Again, like my biggest gripe, the biggest gripe I have is just I thought the difficulty was too severe.
Yes.
So that's all. But that was enough to make me not like the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, if there was and again, these days, like if this game would have come out today as a new game, they probably would give you like, easy, normal, hard.
Yeah.
So you can figure, and maybe that would be, a thing. But
Lara would have a sidekick telling you where to go.
Yes, exactly. Lara would have like her version of Link's Fairy.
I was going to say,
like,
hey, listen.
Exactly, just telling you what to do. But needless to say, it was incredibly frustrating. No, I will never play that game again. Yes, I am happy I beat it. Will I go on to Tomb Raider 3 at some point? Yes. Will it be the next game I play? No. I need a Tomb Raider break.
I will tell you, one of the things with Tomb Raider 3 that drove me nuts back on when I played it on the PlayStation 1. So you remember the little save crystals?
Yes.
So they didn't have save crystals actually just in designated spots in the sense of, you got to this point and cool, you get a save crystal. So to save, you had to find the save crystals and decide when you wanted to save.
Oh, interesting.
But they had a limited number of them. And I'm like, that was just brutal. And like, I remember even saying to my wife after I finished it, I'm like, I don't know how I finished this back in the day.
No.
And I did it. I couldn't tell you how.
I felt that way about Tomb Raider 1 when I got through it. It's like considering you had to do so much before you got to a save. Like Tomb Raider 2, I can tell you right now, I think I saved it about 240 times. And I'm not kidding. Like 240 saves.
I think that's where I was at.
Yeah, somewhere around 240 saves.
Yeah.
Because before every big jump, stop, save, just in case I fall.
Yep.
Don't want to go through everything else I did before that.
Can I tell you how many times I thought I was saving and I accidentally
loaded the game?
And I did the same thing. So pissed. Oh my God.
I did that quite a few times and I'm like, now I got to do that all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
But Tomb Raider 2 is done. It's in the books. I'm very happy I went back and finished it, even if I didn't enjoy the experience overall.
The other thing, if I can also say, is Aspire, the developer who did the remaster collection. Aspire.
It might be Aspire.
Aspire. I really I have to say, man, they did you want to talk about a phenomenal job.
They really did do a good job.
Holy cow! Doing the graphics and whatnot. That same buddy and I, he's not as much into video games anymore like I am. Mm-hmm. But I would send him screenshots and he would just be like, "That's what they did with it." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what." And he was like, "Wow, he's like, I might even need to pick that up and play it."
Well, I mean, just doing the simple swipe in the game. Like I'm saying, if you wanted to switch between the two, all you got to do is press the option button on your PlayStation controller. And it goes from the original look to the current look.
Yeah.
To the remaster look. And it's just, it's amazing what they did with that. So excellent work on their part.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our actual topic of discussion for the show, aside from this. But Tomb Raider 2 leads us into this topic because I was so happy about going back to an old game that I never finished and finally finishing it, that it gave me the idea to talk about other games.
Yep.
So our topic tonight is unfinished business on this episode. What games did we play but never beat that we want to go back to and beat? What games did we put down? What Tomb Raider 2s did frustrate us? Or just what did we give up on to move on to something bigger, better, worse, whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
But what would we like to go back to? What kind of business do we want to finish? And so what I thought we'd do is Rich and I will just go back and forth on games from our history that we started and never finished, but we want to go back and finish. So, Rich, I'm going to throw it to you first.
All right. I'm going to go back to the Nintendo to start off.
Okay. Let's go. We can go in order in it to a degree.
So, you're going to laugh. Going back to Royal Video.
Royal Video.
Royal Video.
Wait, which Royal Video?
The one on Coil.
Coil and you.
Yep.
Okay. Not the one on 20, was it 27th or 28th Street? I think it was 28th Street.
28th Street, I think.
Mhm.
Between 27th and 28th, whatever.
Yeah.
So I wound up, I remember I rented, do you remember Faxanadu?
Yes, I do.
I remember I rented that and I was like, wow, this game is amazing. Like, I remember playing it and just thinking, the gameplay of it, the world that it was building, and especially it was in that like around that same time, if I remember right, of Zelda 2.
Mm.
And I remember feeling like, and again, I haven't played it probably since like the late 80s, and I've thought about wanting to go back and replay this. I remember thinking like the difficulty level of it didn't feel as difficult as Zelda 2 did.
Okay.
And
yes, Zelda 2 was difficult.
Oh God. And with this, I just remember the adventure of it, and just even the graphics for its time were pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would say that would be my first one that I would love to go back and sit down at some point and do.
All right. Faxanadu is one of those games that I knew of but never played. I don't think I ever rented it either.
Really?
No. It's the one that never crossed.
It had the cool box art too.
I remember the black box with the cool, like, I can't remember the design exactly, but I can kind of visualize like the colors of it. It was very like, wasn't it like a cosmosy kind of
earth tone? I think it was earth tony, if I remember.
Was it
right.
earth tone?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more like blues and black. Again, I'll post an image of it in the show, and you guys can hear which one of us is completely wrong. It's probably me because, oh, wait a minute, you know what? Now I'm thinking, I was thinking the one I'm thinking of is different.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was more like an earthy, like almost like a beigey kind of ground.
I think there was like a tree or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like a shield or something.
We'll show it, and then we'll be like, totally wrong.
Both of us will be wrong.
Yeah, we'll be totally wrong. But that's just a game that I never took an opportunity to play. Could be something to go back and check out. But I already have a huge library to get through.
Yep. You got to get this through the third Tomb Raider.
No, not right now. I have a feeling that's not going to be 2026 at all. That might not be 2027 either. We'll see. The first game I want to bring up, and I'm going to bring it up. It is for the NES. It was originally an arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the original Gauntlet.
Oh.
Now,
did that have an ending?
Yeah, well, on the NES, my understanding is that it's 100 levels.
Okay,
it's 100 levels, and the game ends. So I've always wanted to beat that game, or at least get, even if it resets, whatever it is. Like, I always wanted to get through the 100 levels, and I never ever did it. And I don't know if it's because I needed a game. I'm pretty sure you were limited in terms of like the number of continues you can get, because that's what those games did.
Yeah,
all the time. So. Obviously, with that's like the Game Genie and stuff like that, you can get through them. And again, I'm not saying that I want to beat it in the original format it was intended to be beaten. Like, in other words, like beat it within like the 3 continues or whatever. Because let's face it, we just talked about it. Don't have the time to do that.
Nope.
But I would like to sit down one day and just play through that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say I've gone through all 100 levels and completed them.
Yeah.
And I was always in the minority, I think, when I played that game. I always loved playing as the elf. He was the weakest character, but the fastest.
Mm.
But what I would do, my strategy was always like run through the board as quickly as I can so that the enemies don't hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always got the furthest with the elf than I did with any other character. I think the only other second character that I did decently with was the wizard.
I was gonna say, I remember always using the wizard.
Yeah, because the wizard, when you did the magic, he like destroyed everything on the board.
Yeah,
he covered the whole board. But the elf was always the fastest, so I would always somehow maneuver my way through a lot of levels. And I think and honestly, like, I have a ways to go. I think the most I've ever gotten through in Gauntlet was maybe somewhere in the 20s.
I think I was at the teens.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the low to mid 20s I got to in that game. But Gauntlet's one, like, and that's also the type of game where I can always pick it up at random times and I still have fun playing it, even though I can't get through that far in it without a cheat code.
It's 2-player, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it one. Next time I come by for, just hanging out and gaming, we can record it.
We're going to Gauntlet?
Yeah, we're going to Gauntlet.
Yeah, and you know what? With my Polymega, which is great, the Polymega, I don't know if it has it with all games, but like you can just it has codes already
Yeah.
in it, so you can just turn on certain codes.
Let's do it.
And let's just do it. All right. I think we have a plan. I like this.
We'll see how bad we do.
Yep. All right. So that one's mine. All right. What is the second game that you have on your list?
So the second one, I don't know, you might be like, what? Or even some of the viewers here, but I've tried a couple of times and I've never finished it, is Final Fantasy 3 or 6, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
Everybody always talks about how amazing of a story it is.
Yep.
And I think I've barely scratched the surface of the game. And it's just, I've never gotten super far into it, and I've always wanted to beat it. And I just never, I know that's another one that's going to take me a long, long time to do.
Final Fantasies are commitments.
Yeah.
They're real commitments.
Like, I remember when I sat down with Chrono Trigger, probably about 15 years ago, and I was like, no, I'm sitting down and I'm doing this.
Yep.
And I think it was right after that, I was like, all right, I'm finally going to sit down. I'm going to do Final Fantasy 3. And again, I got to a certain point. I think I died, and I was like, all right, nope.
Yep.
I'm done.
Well, I always find doing those types of games back to back can wear you out.
Yeah.
So if you would have spaced it with something else in between, maybe you would have gotten through Final Fantasy.
Tomb Raider 4.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Final Fantasy, I was very late to the game on Final Fantasy. 7 was the first one I played.
Same for me.
Yeah, I never played 1 through 6. But everybody raves over 3/6, whichever way you want to call it. So,
the story is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, so it's definitely on my list of games to play. But actually, going back and playing all the Final Fantasies, I would love to do that one day. Just do a run through.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not back to back. Space them, but still get through them all. But that's a good one to go back to.
But they would need to do it similar to what Dragon Quest just did with the 2.5D.
Oh yes,
I would love to see a Final Fantasy 1 and 2 2.5D. Really.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And who knows, right? You never know when they're going to make those. Okay, so the next one on my list is a little bit of a cheat.
Uh-oh.
Because it's a game I actually have beaten. But the unfinished business I have with it is I haven't gotten the perfect score on it.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Now, absolutely amazing game, completely revolutionized the industry when it first came out, in my opinion. It was like the first really smooth 3D polygon played game that you can get at the time. PlayStation at that point had already been out, but if you remember like your Tomb Raiders and stuff like that, and your Resident Evil
controls.
Yeah, tank controls to carry them. But when you played as Mario with that joystick, it was smooth. It came running around very, very smooth. So, like I said, very revolutionary. And I devoured that game. Absolutely loved that game. But it was when I found out afterwards that if you got all 120 stars in the game, you would unlock Yoshi.
Really?
Yoshi is hiding on the roof of the castle. And when you get all 120 stars, a cannon opens up. A cannon opens up outside the castle, and you jump in and you shoot up to the roof, and Yoshi's there. I've always wanted to uncover Yoshi or uncover the cannon to get to Yoshi. To this day, I still have my original cartridge. It still has my game save on there, so the battery is still holding up. Well, I haven't checked it in a year or two.
But last time I
checked, it was still holding up. I'm at 104 stars, so I'm 16 stars away. And every so often, I go back to the game to try and get those other 16. And every so often, I'm like, why can't I get these 16? I don't know why I can't get them. But I want to go back and get Yoshi. It's just something I need to do it. And at some point, and again, I may be making my list of games to play for 2026 right now in this episode by talking about this unfinished business stuff.
I think you should.
But Super Mario 64, just to get those other 16 stars is going to be a high one on my unfinished business list for sure.
So I'm going to go skip over generation here.
Okay.
And you're going to go, well, actually, no, not really. I guess maybe sidestep. PlayStation.
No, they were the same generation.
Same generation.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking Dreamcast.
Yeah. Dreamcast was
next. So do you remember a game called Project Overkill?
Yes, I do.
I loved that game.
Really?
So much. Oh my God! You want to talk like? Remember, I'm a huge Aliens fan, and it had very much like this Aliens type
Yes.
of vibe. It was isometric. You were these, I guess, mercenaries. Forgive me, guys. I mean, I'm going back like 30 something years ago, and I remember it was an early PlayStation One game as well with it. And the soundtrack, I love me some heavy metal, and there was some really great metal songs on there. I actually remember putting it into the CD-ROM on my computer and ripping the songs off of it.
Oh, nice.
Doing that and putting those onto like my little cassette tapes or burned onto other CDs for whatever. But yeah, that was a game though. I remember I could get through the first area, but by the time you got to the second area, like the difficulty level just spiked so bad, and I could never ever finish that game. And
Wow.
that is
Okay.
one that I would love to be able to go back and one day finish. And from what I remember, right, and again, anybody who's better at this and remembers it better than I do, but I felt like it was kind of like Gauntlet-esque in the sense of, again, it was isometric. You had to run around through these mazes, performing these tasks, and it was just you kind of just moved from like one level to the next level to the next level, and you just had these different guys again who like one I remember was like a brute with some heavy artillery, and like there was somebody else who moved quickly with it, and I don't know how many levels there ever were because, like I said, I only got up to the second area, and I might be even saying it wrong, but I remember just really just enjoying the ever daylights out of that game, and that was actually one of the games that made me want to buy a PlayStation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
When I saw that game, it reminded me a little bit of Smash TV, Super Smash TV.
Yep.
It gave me that vibe where it's like because you could pick up different weapons,
Yep.
everything like that. The only difference was obviously not only that it was on the PlayStation, but it was the isometric view instead of like the top down view. But that's exactly what I was like. Oh, I was like, this is kind of like a Smash TV sequel. If there ever was a Smash TV.
There
sequel.
was.
Yeah.
Total Carnage.
That's right. Total Carnage was the sequel. So, all right, Project Overkill. That's an interesting choice. That's not one I would have not heard before, like you brought up. So very cool. I also have one for the PlayStation.
Ooh.
And it's a big one.
Oh.
After Final Fantasy VII, after playing through Final Fantasy VII, I was completely in love with the Final Fantasy series, and I thought they were all going to be that amazing. So naturally, when Final Fantasy VIII came out, I bought it day one. I'm like, okay, Final Fantasy VII was one of the reasons why I bought a PlayStation. It was that and Resident Evil. That's why I bought a PlayStation. Because I was fully in the N64 camp before I got a PlayStation. But then those two games changed my mind. Now, I picked up Final Fantasy VIII. I jumped right into it. Really, I was really enjoying the game. But I got to a point, and I think it was right after Disc 3. I think it was like somewhere in the beginning of Disc 4. I think we were heading to, I don't want to say we were heading to the final battle, but I think we were heading to like the final chapter of the game. And we had this whole big conversation on board the ship that we were on. I forgot the name of the ship. Because in that game, you were actually able to fly the ship around. You got that time. But we were in the ship. We were having a conversation about stuff, about the lead up to what was coming next, the big final area or whatever it was. And I remember distinctly while sitting there listening to their conversation or reading their conversation, I was like, you know what? I have not been interested in this in a while. Like through like part of Disc 3 or whatever it was. I don't know if it was just the game got too long or if I played it too close to 7 or if I was just comparing it to 7. But I was just like, I kind of lost interest literally in that conversation. And I just put it down and I said,
done.
I'm done. I'm going to stop. And to this day, regret the fact that I did because I had put in like 40 or 50 hours into the game already. Which at that time was a massive amount of time.
Yeah.
And also, I know for a fact there wasn't that much left. And I should have finished it. So I regret the fact that I stopped playing Final Fantasy VIII. I regret even more going back to my PlayStation memory cards, finding out that the save isn't there anymore. So now, granted, I would never, especially a game like that, I wouldn't go back and pick it up where I left off because I don't remember any of the story of Final Fantasy VIII anymore.
Right.
I really just don't. So I wouldn't want to go back to it and just pick it up there because I'm like, okay, now I don't know the story.
Yeah.
As opposed to Final Fantasy IX, which I started playing on my Switch. And I go back to it I'm not kidding you, like maybe every 6 months I go back and I play a little bit more of it. But for some odd reason, the story in 9 is stuck in my brain so I can pick up where I left off. Which also, to me, is a little bit of a ding on 8 because I think the story in 8 wasn't as strong.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. But needless to say, I still want to go back and finish it. But to do that, I have to start it over. So I know, like, once I pick that up, I know it's going to be a big undertaking. But it is on my list of games that I do want to go back to and play through. So, Final Fantasy VIII.
You know who was a huge Final Fantasy fan from 7 through 10? My wife.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, very
Especially
cool.
She loved 7 and 8.
She loves 7. Yeah, see, I've yet to find anybody who doesn't like 7. Like, because again, 7 was such a huge world. The characters were interesting. There were so many great moments in it, and obviously one of the most shocking moments in video game history happens in that game, and we've talked about that a dozen
so many
times on this show. 8 was just tougher to. It was following such a solid game. You knew it was going to get compared to it. So it had a lot to live up to.
You know what's one thing I find very interesting, though? Is, and I don't know if you had the same experience back in the day playing, this Resident Evil. But, like, my wife, she didn't sit there and she didn't play them, like, straight.
Back to back.
No, just even on her own.
Oh, okay.
It was more like get together with your friends. You guys would all sit down. You would take turns playing.
Oh, interesting.
And, it's like, you would just I'm done with this for now. You want to
pass it over,
and then you would just sit there and you would watch the other person.
So it was a team effort.
And I don't remember the last time I did that. Probably was on the PlayStation
with a single player game.
With a single player game,
I can say with certainty I never did that.
Really?
No.
Wow.
No. If somebody was over, we always played something co-op. We never said let's sit down and play a single player game and like take turns.
So my buddy John and I, we went to the Blockbuster. We rented Resident Evil 2. And over the span of, you had it for 5 nights?
Yeah.
So over the span of 5 nights, he just came over every single day. And we just plowed through it.
Yeah, see, you had a secret to getting through these games that I didn't. Well, you know what it is, too? When it comes to single-player games, and you know what? Anybody out there agree or disagree? Would love to hear your thoughts on this one. I need to complete them all on my own because that to me means that I actually beat it. I did it myself. Handing it off and going back and forth, even if I'm sitting there watching it, doesn't feel like I did it on my own.
See, I like doing that because for me, it felt very much kind of like a team effort. It's like, it wasn't just, it was like a journey that both of us had gone on.
Yeah.
And we beat this together. And it just, to me, it always added a little something. Like, again, I think of the Resident Evil games, especially that first one. It's like you get stuck with something, and it's like you get stuck at that point where you
pass it off.
I can't deal with this. Here, you deal with this, and then somebody else goes, okay, I got this. Yeah. And then boom, they get.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I'm just of a mind where it's like a single player game needs to be played by a single player all the way through.
It must be done by me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that's a little bit of a debate. Maybe you guys want to settle a debate on this, or give us your thoughts.
Yeah,
where to reach out.
I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear that one as well. All right, so Final Fantasy VIII was the last one I talked about. Rich, you're up. What else do you got?
I think it was So now I'm up to the Xbox.
Now you're on Xbox.
It's a game that I really want to go back and redo, but they've been talking about redoing it, and it's been stuck in development hell for God knows how long.
Okay.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh wow. Okay.
I remember playing that on the Xbox and just being like, this game seems so freaking cool. I couldn't get into the whole RPG element of it, where it's like, all right, go and attack this person, and then the person's literally like my character's standing right in front of the villain, one of the bad guys, firing the blaster, and like 3 out of the 5 shots are missing.
Oh, well, that makes no sense.
And I'm like getting really frustrated with it. But I always wanted to go back and play both KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. And I never went back. And then I heard about them literally rebuilding it from the ground up. And from what my understanding was, it was supposed to be almost more like a Mass Effect, because it was the same people who did the first Mass Effect.
Okay. I thought they remade those.
The Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah.
They've remastered them. But they
remastered, not a remake.
Not a remake.
Okay. So the same issues exist.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And especially me, I know you're not the Star Wars fan, but I'm a big Star Wars fan. And I've always wanted to go back, and I've heard again that the stories in both of them, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and I can't go play 2 without playing 1. And
just like me.
Yep. And I really just want to sit down and do it. But again, damn it, will you guys just finish that damn remake of this so I can freaking finally finish this game?
Well, just reach out to LucasArts. I'm sure he'll help you.
Oh, listen,
George has nothing else to do.
Nah.
So, funny. Yes, you are correct. I wasn't a big Star Wars fan. Star Wars video game fan, though. There were a few of them that I really enjoyed. I love Shadow of the Empire on N64. I really enjoyed Rogue Leader on
those
GameCube.
Were so much fun.
Rogue Leader on GameCube.
Oh my god!
Actually, I could actually put that on my unfinished business, because that was another game where I got stuck and I never finished.
The first one? Well, not the first. No. The second one.
Rogue Leader was
on N64.
Was on the N64.
2.
No. Rogue Leader 2 on the GameCube.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one.
You never finished that?
No.
Oh, I did. It's so
and I
much
still
fun.
have it. I still have it. I just never played. Oh no, isn't it called Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yes, also on my unfinished list. I didn't think of it for the actual list I made. But but there are Star Wars games I did. Oh, Lego Star Wars I loved. That was super fun.
Those were great.
Yeah, they were just really fun. Getting back to unfinished, I did not put an Xbox game on my list.
Okay.
But I did put a game from the Sega Dreamcast, and this one was a little bit of a surprise for me because I could not finish it. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which I played on the Dreamcast, not on the PlayStation. I remember, well, first off, Nemesis in that game was always like dogging you, so it was always hard to get through. But I remember I got all the way to the end of the game. This is the one where it's like I probably, of all the ones on my list, this was the one where I got the closest to the very, very end.
Mm-hmm.
I just could not get past Nemesis to move on to face Inferno, who's the final boss in the game.
Yep.
I just couldn't do it. And I had finally gotten to a point where I said, I need to move on. And I just moved on. I regret it to this day because I love Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica. Amazing. By the way,
I can't wait for Code Veronica's remake.
Yes. Cannot wait for that too.
Oh.
But those 4 Resident Evil games to me, and I will also say, those are the only 4 Resident Evil games I have played. When they switched to Resident Evil 4 and they changed the format of the game, I just checked out. And I will say this, I checked out in the sense of I just never played it. Because once I learned it wasn't the survival horror style that I love, like I am such a big survival horror style kind of player. When they made it a more action-oriented game, I just stepped away. Now, I know they've gone back to the survival horror aspect of it.
7, I think you would actually like Biohazard.
And I have 7. In fact, I have the VR version.
I was going to say you should really do the
VR. I have the VR version. By the way, was it Star Wars Battlefront 2 or something like that on PlayStation 4? Also, I have the VR version of that.
Yeah.
You would love that.
Oh my god.
You would love that on VR. But like Resident Evil, so of the first 4 Resident Evil games, Nemesis is the only one I haven't beat. Code Veronica might be my favorite. Between that and 2, I go back and forth.
So full disclosure,
I
never beat 3 on its initial release. I only ever beat 3 on the remakes.
Nice.
That's it.
I own the remakes and never played them. I just haven't gotten to them.
So the remakes, I think my favorite part about the remakes is modding them. So like when
Did
Mr.
you
X,
did you do Thomas the Tank Engine?
oh my
Like
God, yes.
of course.
Nothing beats when you have like all this, and especially my buddy who did it. He didn't tell us that he switched it to Thomas the
Nice.
Tank Engine, and then the next thing we knew,
Here
Thomas
it comes.
just comes crashing through. And then in 3, he changed Nemesis to Shrek.
Oh, that's awesome.
What the hell?
That is awesome.
So yeah, that was good.
Oh man! All right, Rich. We're nearing the. I think we're nearing the end of our list. This is our last picks each.
Yep.
And we both got them on PlayStation 2.
Yes.
All right. So what is your last unfinished game that you want to go back to?
So I'm actually going back to the kind of tying it back to the Tomb Raider a little bit here.
Okay.
So if you recall, they released Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered.
Yep.
So I had tried Soul Reaver.
Okay.
Barely played it, and I was like, no, this wasn't for me. And I recently bought the collection, beat 1, but I had played, for whatever reason, I had gone directly from Soul Reaver. I had played like Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain on the PlayStation 1, loved it. Wasn't crazy about Soul Reaver 1 and 2, but then for whatever reason, somebody lent me, Legacy of Kain Defiance.
Okay.
And I remember I played through, like, again, 2/3 of the game, and the game glitched on me.
Oh.
And I couldn't get past this one point in the game. And especially now that recently, this past year, I redid Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. I did Soul Reaver Part 1. I'm going to be similar to what you were just saying. I decided after 1, I needed to take a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go play 2. But then after 2, I really want to go back and redo Defiance. Because I remember absolutely loving Defiance. I loved the story. I loved the fact of Kain and Raziel working together, so to speak. And I remember some of the controls in the game. It just felt so much smoother than a lot of the other stuff. So, and I saw it's on the PlayStation Store. So
nice.
I've totally, even though, I could easily go and buy a physical copy of it. I know you and I have a little differing opinion on this, but I don't mind for something like that to get, again, just so I can have the playing through HDMI.
Yeah.
Being able to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, no, for certain games when it's easier, like I can understand it. I do have my affinity to physical though. I do want like a physical copy of stuff. So whoever's out there who made Marvel Cosmic Invasion, please make a physical copy so I can buy it. I do not want to buy a digital copy of Cosmic Invasion.
Me too.
But okay. So that's your last one.
That was my last one.
Okay. So my last one comes from a series where I did the same thing with this series that I did with Tomb Raider, where I played the second one. I got stuck in the second one, and I never moved on to the rest of the franchise. The funny thing about this one, though, is that this actually, I guess, wasn't the second one in the series. It was the 1.5 version in the series. I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, I absolutely loved the first Kingdom Hearts game. I thought it was brilliant. And honestly, I really thought, like, what a coup Disney and Square made by coming together and just make this. I was like, okay, this is just really, really brilliant. And obviously, it did really well because it birthed the entire franchise. And to this day, they're working on a new one now.
Really?
My understanding is they're working on a new one now. But me being me, I wanted to play them play them in order. I played through Kingdom Hearts 1. I moved on to Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which is kind of 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want to finish 1.5.
Is this the card one?
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, I want to beat 1.5 before I move on to Kingdom Hearts 2. I got to the battle. I think I got to the battle with Cloud. Could not do it.
Done.
Put it down. I was like, no, actually, and this time I had said, I put it down. And I told myself, just move on to 2 and play through 2 because you really love the first one. I could not bring myself to start 2. That's how stubborn I am. I could not bring myself to start 2 because I wanted to beat Chain of Memories. Since then, we've gotten a number of Kingdom Hearts games.
Yep.
Besides 1, 2, and 3,
Yep.
there's been Birth by Sleep. There's been like a 2.5. There's been like a 2.7, a 0.8 or something like that. There's been all these different weird numbers. But there's been a number of games, and I want to play them all. And in fact, when I bought, there was a collection that came out on the PS4, I believe.
Yeah.
Where you had all of them. It
Yep.
was before the third one came out, but you
Yep.
could buy the whole collection, which I have it too. I bought it to play through them all.
Yep.
I still won't do it without beating Chain of Memories.
Move on.
I don't know how to move on.
Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
Copyright infringement. Stop. Yeah, I really, really, really just want to get through Chain of Memories. And this is the series probably I feel the guiltiest about stopping more than Tomb Raider. Like, as much as I love Tomb Raider, I actually feel like I'm missing out on the Kingdom Hearts franchise because of how much I love the first one.
Okay.
So of the 5 I talked about on this show, that's the one I'd probably go back to first.
Okay.
Because I really want to get back through that whole... I really want to play that whole series.
Right.
I just do. So, but Chain of Memories is the last one I have on my list.
For me, I think I'm going back to the Legacy of Kain series because I'm literally...
Well, because you've been
already
working on it. You've already been working on it. Yeah, see, I've done Tomb Raider 2. I'm good to let that sit for a while. I think Kingdom Hearts is going to be the way to go for me next.
Yep.
So now that I brought that up. Although... Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I've left myself hanging for a long time. I need to go back to that. But that's modern. That's not retro. So, but anyway, that concludes our list.
Whew, that was a long list.
That is our current unfinished business.
Okay.
Maybe for 2026 and beyond.
What is your unfinished business?
What is your unfinished business? As we said earlier, we'd love to hear from you guys. What games did you walk away from that you want to go back to and finally get through? Please reach out and let us know. You can find us everywhere on social media at Retro Gamers Podcast. You can watch us and listen to this show on Spotify and YouTube at Retro Gamers Podcast. Or if you just want to email us directly to let us know, or you can message us directly if you don't want to post it on one of the episodes. You can also email at theretrogamers.com. Rich, I think this has been a good episode to start.
It has been.
And you know what? I think we'll have to, whenever you come back on the show this year, we're going to have to check in on our unfinished business and see what we've gotten done.
Works for me.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show.
I love being here. Thank you.
I love having you here. And for everybody else out there, we will catch you next time on the Retro Gamers Podcast.